Well, now we come to knight e4, when white hits with e5. A rare bird, an unusual guest at the tournament table, but nevertheless you have to know what to do against it. I'm going to show you two ways for white, both of which involve gambiting a pawn in order to get an aggressive and dangerous position. The first way starts with bishop d5. This is a slightly awkward move for black to meet, as it intercepts black's idea of d5, it gums up the works, and it forces black's knight to c5, after which white intends to sacrifice a pawn with c3. Now that's probably a gambit which black has to accept, and now you can see, after knight takes c3, white has got quite a dangerous attacking position already. We move then to the game Palkovi versus Lengyel, played in the Hungarian Championship in 1998, where black put his knight on the characteristic square e6. This is one of the ideas of this variation. If white forces the knight back, the knight comes back to the solid square e6. Black's going to break things up with d6, but white now got on the case immediately with the remarkable idea h4. This idea, well, very aggressive, as you can see. White's burning his bridges when he plays this way, but just see what happens in this game, as after bishop e7, queen a4, castles bishop e3, white was getting his development souped up by castling on the queen side. This has distinct similarities between the Goring gambit and this variation, because as you can see, white's opened up the game completely and he's giving black distinct practical problems. Lengyel played queen to e8, white played queen to e4, eyeing h7. Certainly knight g5 is very much on the cards here. If black takes that, the h file opens up. Black played knight takes e5, and white played knight g5 anyway. And he intended, after f5, to play the brilliant move here, knight takes e6. And what we're going to get over the next few moves is a clarification of the position. There's a general liquidation leading to a position, believe it or not, of equal material, but one which again favours white, because black's got this very weak backward pawn on an open file, and furthermore white is ahead in development. So this whole system with, if you can call it that, with bishop d5 and then c3, this does seem promising, and Lengyel in our featured game could not find an adequate answer to it. Black, of course, in this position is not anywhere near equal, because he's forced to defend his pawn, and white can just zero in on this pawn. Well, and even after bishop e6, white had knight c7. So rook a c8 was played, knight takes e6, and black played his trick, knight d4 check, and took back on e6. But as I say, liquidations in this position, of course, favour white. White's got the better endgame here. He's traded advantages from a superior attacking position to a strategical position where black is really toiling. And what's more, white retains attacking chances on the king side, as we'll see. So black's trying to coordinate his pieces. White is happy to swap off. He knows he's got the better endgame. Black now plays b5. Rook d1, eyeing d6, and then just bishop f3. The chronic weakness remains. Rook d8 was answered by rook e1 and bishop f8 by bishop h4. Slowly but surely, black is being pushed off balance. So rook b8, bishop f5, king g8, g4, rook a8, g5. Black can just tread water here and await events. Rook a8, rook b8, f3, and then rook a8. This is a really miserable experience for black. White was taking his time too. Bishop g3, rook d8, bishop h4. I think that Palkovi is enjoying this experience. b4, g6, h takes g6, h takes g6. And either black lost on time in this position or he resigned. Certainly after g6, white's winning plan is crystal clear. He's going to put his bishop on f2. He's going to try and chop off this knight. He's going to play bishop e6, and then he's going to go rook h2. And that will be mate. The pawn on g6 has a throttling effect. So the first way against knight e4, and one which I think will appeal to direct attacking players, is to gambit a pawn by putting the bishop in on d5 first, gumming up the works, and only then going c3. White certainly obtains very interesting attacking chances using this method.